Hello everyone, welcome back to another video of mine. I hope you are all having a fantastic day today. In today's video we are going to be discussing the deleted opening montage scene that was originally planned for Jurassic World. So I'm aware that most of you guys know how Welcome to Jurassic World started. The first visual image that we get of Jurassic World, or Jurassic Park shall we say, in a working manner. This is when Gray runs into his hotel room and opens the balcony doors, and you can see a gorgeous emotional scene of the Innovation Center, the Mosasaur Lagoon, and just Jurassic World in a work in progress, which looks absolutely phenomenal, matched perfectly with the music. However, I noticed that some people actually did point out that the music did kind of flow into the end of that soundtrack, which should have actually lasted a lot longer, and also it kind of just cuts to another scene as soon as it gets to the ACU area. However, what if I were to tell you that that scene was supposed to last a lot longer, with it showcasing plenty of dinosaurs as well as the full original Jurassic Park soundtrack? So we can expect this scene to, instead of being 1 minute and 30 seconds, around 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Another 2 minutes of dinosaur footage. And we have these storyboards to prove what the opening montage would have looked like. So, showing off the first montage scene, as you can see, it's where Zach, Gray, Zara, and what seems to be a fourth person, don't quite know who that is, maybe by a butler by the looks of it from number 4 slide, but it seems like they've got pretty much a very similar vibe to what's happening, and also Claire does appear a lot sooner as well to actually see the energetic Gray jumping on the bed and running onto the balcony. So it's very similar to what we got in the final product of the Jurassic World. Moving on to the second slides, we also see how Gray opens up the balcony, and you can see what we know of Jurassic World and the monorail, hotels, but it seems to be more of a wide aspect view. Obviously, you know, it's probably just in development at this point in stage. We have to keep that in mind that it doesn't look exactly like what we know, but it would have been something similar to this. And obviously, these first sections, although they changed slightly different, does kind of show off what Jurassic World originally is in the final product. Now, moving on to the third slide, we can see that we have a panned shot from the central of the camera, panning upwards towards seeing Mount Sibo in the background. And then we transition to a gondola car. Moving on to the fourth, we can see that that gondola car actually goes on top of a hadrosaur exhibit. Yes, a hadrosaur exhibit. Not too sure what type of hadrosaurids would be in here. By the drawings, it looks like maybe Centaurosaurus and some sort of Montasaurus. Even Hadrosaurus could even be possible. But, you know, since these are just rough sketches for now, it could even just be a Parasaurolophus. But yes, there's supposed to be an absolutely cool scene where we see the gondola car go over the top of the Hadrosaur exhibit, and then the camera pans into the herd of Hadrosaurs. So it would have been a lot of CGI, but probably realistic CGI from what we know, and I would have loved to have seen a scene like this. Next up on the fifth slide, it continues with the Hadrosaurs of the herd moving, and then it pans into the tree canopy where we are greeted with a brand new dinosaur of Jurassic World, the Diplodocus. Yeah, we've never seen Diplodocus or Diplodocus, however way you're inclined to say it, but we haven't seen Diplodocus at all anywhere in any Jurassic Park media, and it would have been absolutely awesome to see a Diplodocus in Jurassic World, especially with how long it is, and hopefully maybe even seeing that tail be used as a whip, as we probably expect it to do in real life. But yes, a really cool scene was supposed to happen where it would pan up facing a canopy of a tree, the darkness comes over, and then you just see a Diplodocus opens the hole through the canopy as it grazes on the trees. How awesome of a scene would have that been? Oh my god. I'm just thinking of it now. Diplodocus could have been in Jurassic World. That would have been awesome. Maybe Diplodocus would have overtaken the Apatosaurus, but I think they ultimately went with Apatosaurus. And that kind of backs up my theory here, as you can see with the opening of the montage 6, we see a jungle boat cruise, which is very similar to what we do see in the movie, but later on in the movie, where it's the Camp Cretaceous cruise. And in a Camp Cretaceous cruise, we see some hadrosaurs, and we also see the Apatosaurus. And obviously, as you can see here, Diplodocus was planned for the Cretaceous cruise instead, and it was called Jungle Boat Cruise instead. So yes, Diplodocus was actually replaced by the Apatosaurus. Nonetheless, you know, obviously these scenes were eventually placed in the final product of the movie, just not with this opening montage. But imagine the scenes in your head, very similar to how we know of Jurassic World, and have the Jurassic Park theme song in the background. How elegant would this scene look? It would have been absolutely impeccable in my opinion. But yes, then we see that water splashes on top of the Diplodocus's head, and it splashes onto the camera, which then leads to a transition to the Gallimimus safari. Again, we actually did see the Gallimimus safari later in the movie, I think probably not the next scene, but the scene afterwards, we can see loads of Gallimimuses running past a safari truck. Would have been awesome. And I actually found out while I was researching this scene that apparently there was supposed to be a T-Rex hunting Gallimimus scene as well in Jurassic World. I'll probably make a separate video about that, but I'm finding out so much information about Jurassic World that has sadly been cut. And then with that Gallimimus scene, it's supposed to pan to the sky, and then I assume the camera would pan all the way up to the sky, stop there, and then pan back down from the sky into what seems to be a Dimorphodon and Pteranodon exhibit, the aviary. Now, with the aviary, we really didn't see much of. We only had the camera inside where the flying reptiles flew out after the helicopter crash and the Indominus Rex crash, and that was about it. But to know that there was a chance, there was a point in time where they were considering to show off these dinosaurs in a natural habitat, which what seems to be in slide 34 at the bottom, as you can see, an attraction viewing dome for our guests to actually look at the Dimorphodon and Pteranodon in the natural habitat, would have been off the scales. I would have loved it so much, and I'm so gutted that this opening montage would have been cut, or would have been in the movie, shall I say. But yeah, even more aviary scenes, as you can see in this 9th slide. There's a Pteranodon section where everybody's just viewing the Pteranodons, and we would have had a scene like that. Imagine that. That would have been absolutely amazing, just to see how excited the guests would have been to see Pteranodons and Dimorphodons flying about. But then it transitions to the Pachy Arena, where Zach and Gray also watch the show. So not only do they appear in the opening sequence of this montage, where they show off Jurassic World, but it actually does showcase them in the Pachy Arena watching the Pachycephalosaurus headbutt what seems to be some sort of weight, and it looks absolutely amazing. Obviously we knew the arena was in Jurassic World, but we never really got to see it, and having Pachycephalosaurus, as I said in my previous video, I feel like they could have done a lot more of the Pachycephalosaurus. They didn't really do too much of it in Jurassic World. They kind of mentioned it and then we saw it on a screen, and that was about it, sadly. We didn't get to see too much of it. And ever since its appearance in The Lost World, I just wanted it even more. I can't even lie to you. And we were so close to having it, but you know, moving on to the 10th slide, we actually do see that they break a rock by the looks of it. So it seems like they're training Pachycephalosaurus for a show. So that's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Very similar to what SeaWorld do as well, hopefully in a more ethical type of way, let's say. But at the background you can see Zach and Gray actually leave the show, hopefully on good terms. I wish it would tell us if they were angry or not, but you know, one of them seems to be slumped. I'm not sure who that is, probably Gray, because Zach said we have to go. But we actually have the camera panning towards what I assume would have started off with Zach and Gray leaving, and then the Pachycephalosaurus having a glance at them leaving, and then it would have just transitioned to what you see as the T-Rex paddock. Again, the T-Rex paddock was finalized in Jurassic World, and it does actually happen. So that's a spot on point of view right there. Again, but we get a more mood setting scene where we have the camera just panning at redwoods, and we see the Rex walk through the redwoods instead of just behind some crowds and then eating a goat in the background from a phone call. You know, it would have been a lot cooler to see this scene. We see the mood setting where we finally get the T-Rex reveal walking through the redwoods, and then we see it eat the goat on screen. Absolutely amazing. I'm really glad about that, but they only cut it to the last section of this, the last portion in Jurassic World, where instead it was just the Rex eating the goat behind a numerous amount of people. So yeah, they did kind of go with this a little bit, but it would have been cooler to have a more mood setting to that scene. And then another scene that was actually finalized and put into Jurassic World, admittedly again a little bit different, was the Gyrosphere Valley scene. So as you can see, Diplodocus was supposed to appear yet again, and you know, random guests filming inside the gyrosphere, enjoying their time in the field and the valley of the herbivores. Again, another really cool set of scenes right here, where it seems like Diplodocus and Parasaurolophus were supposed to surround this gyrosphere, and then I assume a camera inside the gyrosphere would pan upwards to see the Diplodocus with the sun rays in the background, and then watch the Diplodocus step down and probably cause like a vibration. That's what would have been awesome. The scenes don't end there. This is the final one. Again, you know, a very similar scene to what we see in Jurassic World, where the petting zoo actually does happen. And this scene shows off another new dinosaur, the Protoceratops, or Microceratus. It's one of the other, I don't quite know. But again, we know one of those two were supposed to appear in Jurassic World, and here's where it's supposed to appear. It seems like a comedic relief right here, where I assume is Zach tapping on the glass, and then the Ceratopsid jumps onto the glass and tries to scare him. And then that's where the opening montage would have ended. You know, a really cool opening montage, 3 minutes probably long, fitting perfectly with the Jurassic World theme, or the Jurassic Park theme song, shall I say. Overall, all in all, I think they should have really added this into the movie, an opening sequence to show that the park is working, rather than occasional clips here, occasional clips there, and trying to maintain a story at the same time. I felt like if they just put the opening sequence in we would have seen perfectly how this park would have run. And honestly, more dinosaurs on the screen means better movies. Not always, but you know what I mean. But anyways, let me know in the comment section down below if you would have loved to have seen the opening montage for Jurassic World. I know for a fact I would have done. And also, if you did enjoy today's video, make sure to smash that like button, and if you want more frequent Jurassic World content, make sure to subscribe to the channel as we get closer to the exciting 50,000 subscribers. But in the meantime, like, comment and subscribe, all of that good stuff, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye. Hello, hi, you. Did you enjoy the video? Just a little reminder to press that like button and also subscribe. I just want to thank my Patreons for this month on screen right here, as giving me that little extra support really does go a long way. But anyways, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day.